What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today, this is going to be a different kind of video. I try to do, since I've started the channel, I've been trying to do like every year, do like a very a more serious toned video, a more real life centered video. Because I think around this time of the year, really since the holidays have started, this is a very, uh, current type of conversation, of a very valid type of conversation, and it's a conversation I think needs to be had around the holidays because I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and there's so many people to go through this kind of thing during the holidays. It's always good to kind of just reach out, talk to you guys, and really just talk to the camera, to myself, really, because well, at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing, but um and just kind of talk about the holiday season and dealing with depression around this time of year because it's a very, very real thing. And to any of you guys watching this, if any of you guys are going through it, um, you know, keep your head up. And I hope this video helps out. I hope this video makes you feel enlightened, and I hope that you have a good holiday season, whether you're spending it alone at the house or you're hanging around family members all day. I'll probably be doing a mixture of both because I got work around that time, but then I everything in general. So I'll probably be doing a big good mixture of both. But anyway, let me know how you're feeling down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And with that being said, let's go ahead and talk. I won't put a whole lot of editing in this video because I don't think it really needs to. It's really just more of just a TED talk and just talking about just real life stuff. Around this time of year tends to be the most depressing. It's supposed to be a year of joy. The holiday of joy. Um, Especially it's Christmas, obviously. Thanksgiving, yeah, you're around family, but Christmas definitely. And sometimes, man, it's hard to get into that mood and that mind state. And I think a lot of reasons is we just, even though we might have people around us, we sometimes feel alone because we've had such a rough year. I mean, I don't know what all you guys have went through. We all go through things, but this has been one of the most mentally and emotionally challenging years of my life. I won't go into deep detail here, but I think you can imagine. I'm fine. I'm healthy. My wife is fine. The people that are closest to me, they're doing okay. But it just we went through some stuff, me and the wife, and then went through stuff personally, and still am in a lot of ways. I've done better, but by the time you get to this part of the year, when it's supposed to be the most joyous of the year, it kind of just is overwhelming, because you've had such a rough year and it's so many things coming at you at once. It's really hard to get in to flip that switch and to uh, be happy about a time of the year when you've been through hell for a good bit of it. Um, and there's no amount of people or family that'll make you feel better. Like that was something I always heard. Like because look, since I've been in my adulthood, I moved out of my mom and dad's house when I was 18 years old, like right after high school, and I did it for a multitude of reasons. Not really one reason stood out more than the other. I needed to go, and you know, for the past 10 years. Now, I went to family get-togethers here and there, but I would say for the past 10 years. I'm 27 years old now. Um, I just ain't. I have not really been much of a family person. I just don't really get up and go to families' houses for Christmas. Most of the time, I've had to work. My job requires me to kind of at least be around, even if I'm not at my place of work. So I haven't really been able to really be around family because of that. And dude, don't get me started. How many people give me shit because I got to work on Christmas? Like, I'm sorry that my job requires me to always be somewhat on the clock. I'm sorry that you're privileged enough to get off on the fucking holidays. Congratulations. Like, you know what I mean? You got people in your life like that. Like, oh, this so funny. I got you. See, you got me started now. You got these older people, and I'm not calling anybody out, but there's people in my family who, like, they'll ask me, hey, can you come down to the house for the holidays? And I'll sit, and I'm not lying. I'm like, I gotta, I'm working such and such day. I've had them literally say, well, why don't you ever put in for those days?
But let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix stupid.
Oh my God, you goddamn genius. Wow. I never thought of that. That is man, dude. I ought to kiss the ground you freaking walk on. You fucking genius. Wow. Like put in for that day? Are you kidding me? I would have never thought that. Holy shit. Really? Wow. Oh my dude, I'm blown away. I'm so blown aback that you actually came up with this. I've never thought about that before in my life. Thank you, my savior. Are you kidding me? Like, oh yeah, it's just that easy just to take off for a day of work when you're on the call 24/7. Like people just don't understand. You know what I mean? Um but it's okay not to want to be around family as much on the holidays. You know, we see these things in the movies and TV shows and things like that. And no one said you had to be around family during that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly okay with not. You know what I mean? I'm not a much of a, you know, as much as I love talking to you guys and love doing the podcast, I'm not really a people person. And that might sound surprising because when you do stuff like this, right? Talking to you guys, doing the podcast and the videos, you would think that I would be. And of course, like if I'm with a group of people, you see me out in public and you want to talk to me, of course I'll talk to you. But I'm just not a very like family event. You know, let's go here, let's go to this person's house. You know, I'm just not that kind of person. I don't invite a lot of people to my house. Hell, the people that know me don't really get invites over to my house. I'm just very particular. You know, I'm very alone. If it wasn't for my wife, I would be alone. You know, and listen, you know, to get back to the subject of the video, um, I was alone for a while. You know, before I met my wife, you know, I met my wife in high school. You know, we dated for a little while. She dumped me, and then 7 years later, we got back together. So I want to say it was like 2019 is when we had our first date, and before that, I was very to myself. You know, I talked to some girls here and there. You know, went on a couple dates, did some things I shouldn't have, but I never really was like super committed to a female. You know, I never really was. You know, because I was just so to myself. I felt like I was set in my ways. You know, and there was a lot of lonely nights at my house. I remember I lived by myself in a house. You know, I was paying my own bills and things like that. Money was super tight. You know, I had enough money to buy like one game. If one game came out, I was able to afford it. But if there was anything else, I couldn't do what I do now and double up or buy a couple. You know, I couldn't do that. And I remember there'd be so many like dark nights where like it'd be like completely silent in my house, and I'm sitting in my living room. I got I got the Xbox cut on, and I'm just sitting there in silence because I was so irritated with life and where I was at because I was working a job that I hated. I worked at a job and the people there I did not like as much, except for my coworkers. They're good dudes, and if you're watching this, shout out to you. Wasn't happy with my life.